The week you good is your week, but the week is bad is somebody else's week. Okay? It's Keisha's week when it's bad. It's your week when it's good. That means, Bookie, you're in rotation. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomenChronicles.com, where I provide a safe space for single women to heal, grow, and thrive. And today's terms every woman should know is in rotation, okay? I know it's two words, but it's still a term, terms, quote, you know what I mean. So let me use it in a sentence. He was very inconsistent with communication and also with the time we spent together. He made me feel like I was in rotation. In rotation is when you are dating someone who has a roster. He has a starting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe, and he basically has you in that starting lineup. These men like this are typically people who are casually dating. They're not looking for a real relationship. They're not looking for a commitment. You are in their rotation, okay? Now, the thing about being in somebody's rotation is it's not always a bad thing if you too have a rotation. Now, if you have a roster, if you have a starting 5, then this could work. These are for people who are dating multiple people at one time and you're not taking dating too seriously. Or even if you're looking for someone, you're choosing the strategy of dating multiple people at once and seeing who's the best. And then y'all can go and have that conversation about exclusivity and being exclusive. I just said the same thing twice. Or about taking things to the next level. That's what I was going to say. But if you are someone who does not like being in nobody's rotation, you want to be the only one, you want all of the focus to be on you, then you must recognize that when you are in somebody's rotation, you need to take yourself out. So I'm going to give you a few signs to recognize when you're in someone's rotation. I named it in a definition, but if you have someone who they are really good one week, like y'all are vibing one week, they spend all their time with you, they're texting back quick, the pace is there, they're trying to see you, boom. But then that next week, you barely hear from them. They're giving you excuse, oh, I'm busy or whatever like that. But then the week after that, then they're back on it. They basically have these roller coasters in their consistency and you really can't tell. It's because they have you in rotation. The week you good is your week, but the week is bad is somebody else's week, okay? It's Keisha's week when it's bad. It's your week when it's good. That means, Bookie, you're in rotation, all right? So just being very inconsistent. I remember I was telling somebody about this weekend. I was dating this guy in college, and we would have amazing weeks. Every other week, I don't know if he had only 2 women and I was one of them, but he was real good one week. And then that next week, it was just poor. And I knew he had me in rotation because one time in college, I seen him pull up. He had like a distinctive car. I seen him pull up on an off week and drop somebody else off. And I knew that I was in rotation. I'm like, wow. He was one of my best shooters too. Like, wow, that's crazy. Because I had me a little roster too. But I wanted to settle down with him. I was in college. But be that as it may, it's crazy that it seems like an immature thing, but people still do that. I remember dating a guy in, I think, 2022. And he lived in another state. I'm not going to say where. But I went to visit him. And he gave me his phone for something. I was not snooping, y'all. I was not snooping. I stumble upon things. I really don't be looking. I stumble upon things. And I stumbled upon him texting like multiple women, sending him pictures and him sending them pictures and stuff like that. And I realized I was in rotation. Mind you, at the time, I was in my 30s. He was older than me in his 30s. And I was in rotation. I didn't realize I was in rotation. But here's my issue with that. Because he told me he was intentionally dating me. He told me, oh, I don't have time to do XYZ. The reason you don't have time is because I'm in rotation and you have several women. So when you recognize inconsistencies and they try to make it seem like they really, really like you, but they just can't do certain things, you might be in rotation. You might be. Another way to tell is like the conversation is very surface level. Most men cannot go really deep with you if they have you in rotation because they don't want to remember those in-depth things. They don't want to talk deeply because they want to keep it at that casual level, like just enough to keep your attention, but not enough to really get to know you and get to know those small intricacies to customize your experience. Because, and you know what? And that's why you really have to be careful when you're paying attention only to the grandiose things that someone can do for you, like someone who sends you flowers all the time, someone who takes you on these really nice fancy dates, and someone who got money to do these things, but they're not doing the in-depth things like asking you, how was your day? What do you really like? What makes you tick? What's your love language? What's like those really deep, how did you grow up? What makes you do this? What makes you angry? How do you overcome these kinds of things? Those deep questions, they're not asking you that, but they're whining and dining you because oftentimes women, we get fooled by those grandiose things, but a lot of men, they're good at that because that's surface, that's easy. They can throw money at that. But giving you their time, their attention, their focus, that's different. You might be in rotation if you got a guy who's just really good at dates. I'm just saying, I've been victim several times. Another thing you got to watch out for. When you got somebody who is very quick to walk away from you anytime y'all have a conflict, oh, baby, you definitely in rotation. Because if someone ain't afraid to lose you like that, it's because they got somebody else. Like, typically, not saying that everybody, I'm talking about small stuff. Like, y'all got into a small little disagreement, and all of a sudden, he's like, all right, whatever, do what you want. He don't try to investigate. He don't try to apologize. None of that. You probably in rotation. You probably in rotation. Okay. So it's good to understand when you're in rotation, because if that's not what you want to take yourself out the rotation. You really want to do that because you don't want to risk falling for somebody who isn't invested like you are. So that has been terms every single woman should know. If you got any terms you want me to discuss, comment them below. Like, share, subscribe so you can hear these terms every single Thursday so you can be up on game. And yeah, let me know what y'all want me to talk about. All right, until next time, bye.